just 4 laps from halfway in the Subway 500 at Martinsville Speedway. Live coverage on NBC. The 6th race in the chase for the championship. Kurt Busch is the championship leader. And guess what? He's also the race leader. Time to take you through the field. Let's start with Matt.
Bill, Kurt told me on Friday this race is a wild card just like Talladega. The best place to be to dodge any kind of bullets out front. Right now he's got a window. His rear window is full of that 29.
Looking right at him. That's the 29 of Kevin Harvick, looking for the race lead. Dismal couple of weeks, as Alan was talking about just a few laps ago. But from spotter Rick Corelli to driver Kevin Harvick, you're reeling them in. How about the 2, Matt? Trying
to get another grandfather clock for his trophy room, runs in 3rd. The car, though, Bill, has started to go back to the tight side. That's why he's slowly fading.
The 48 car of Jimmy Johnson starting to look a lot like last week at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Johnson looking to the inside of Ward Burton. Car getting better as the race goes along. From his crew chief, be smooth, save your stuff. Up front, in traffic.
Harvick goes by Kurt Busch and takes the lead as they caught this big group of cars. Kurt was trying to get by them.
Kurt, where did he come from?
Kurt tried the outside line and didn't quite work. Gave the 29 just enough room to drive on the inside down the backstretch.
And they're going to be working traffic for a long time if it stays green right now.
How about this for a theory, Wally and Benny? Harvick can afford to be a little more aggressive in that traffic than the championship leader can.
That would be true.
That could be a theory.
So Kevin Harvick out in front, the 9th different driver to lead this race. And Kurt Busch back to 2nd, Matt.
And this is not what Kurt Busch wants to see, a bunch of cars in front. He picks up an aero-tight condition when he is in traffic behind guys.
Even at 110 miles per hour, still the aerodynamics means a great deal to these cars as far as handling is concerned.
Well, 110 miles an hour may be just child's play for you former champions, but for somebody like me, that's still going along at a pretty good clip.
Oh, it's pretty fast.
And you can see Harvick is really struggling there on the outside. But finally,
wow, okay, here we go.
That's going to be tight.
That was interesting.
That's heads-up driving by Brendan Gaughan in that 77.
Really, he saw those guys coming and gave him a lot of room.
Okay, so we were going through the field. I believe we left off with 5th place Tony Stewart, Dave.
And his car right now is a little bit loose, Alan. But you know what he said about new leader Kevin Harvick during the last caution? Go tell the 29. This is the day we've both been waiting for. You'll know what I mean. Maybe he meant fast Chevrolets, Matt.
And Jeff Burton having a great run in the 30 car. On the last stop, he said, put the car back to where it was in the previous run. It's just gotten way too tight. They made an air pressure adjustment. Marty?
Matt Sterling Marlin restarted 4th on this run. Now he's in the 7th position. His car is pretty tight. About 45 laps until these guys have to pit under green flag conditions. Sterling finished 9th here in April driving this car. Matt?
21st here in April. Casey Kane having an awesome day. This is almost like a win having a top 10 run. He says the car is tight now on entry. They're talking about what adjustments, possibly more track bar in the next stop, Dave.
Mark Martin has recovered to 9th position. He restarted 8th and then lost 4 positions when he tangled with Brian Vickers, a lap car in traffic, trying to work his way back up. Matt?
Rounding out the top 10 is Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. Won a truck race on Saturday, trying to win here at Cup. He said he needs to rotate a little better on the gas. Donnie Wingo formulating a game plan for the next stop. Meanwhile, the 43 car, Jeff Green, running just outside in the 11th position. He says his car has been good pretty much all day. The team made a small air pressure adjustment on the last stop. 4 tires, nothing else on the radio, Dave.
Ken Schrader started 20th today, all the way up to the 12th position. Had a loose race car at the beginning of the day, now just trying to lose the guys behind him. Matt, Marty?
Dave, chassis-wise, Ryan Newman's a little bit tight. He said there's just nowhere to go back here. I'm faster than the guys in front of me. I just can't get around them. They're back there because of a couple of rough pit stops, hoping for a better stop next time. Dave?
The chassis for Greg Biffle coming around on that car on the last set of pit stops. No changes for him, just 4 fresh Goodyears. Matt?
Last through the field, Bobby Labonte was running in the 15th position, and that's right where he runs on this through the field. The car, not any better. Just will not rotate through the corners, and just no grip, Marty.
Matt, the quote for the man second, the championship, pushy, pushy, pushy. And he's not talking about someone he doesn't like. He's talking about his race car being way too tight, needs major adjustments on the next stop. Bill?
Jeremy Mayfield won the race at Richmond to get into the chase, but since then it has been a real roller coaster ride. 35th at Loudon, 7th at Dover, 38th at Talladega, 5th at Kansas, then 30th last week at Charlotte. Running inside the top 20 now. Now the car's just a little bit tight. Matt?
Knocking on the back of the 19 is the 5 of Terry Labonte. Jim Long, as crew chief, told me the car just starts out way too tight. The first 10 to 15 laps is too tight, and then it starts to come in. But his biggest concern, they're worried about brakes. Marty?
Matty showed the same story for the 38 car of Elliott Sadler. Way too tight in the initial part of the run. When he hits the gas, car just does not want to turn. He said, I saved the tires last time. The tires went away fast anyway. Dave?
Carl Edwards got a little help from his friends, not only with the track bar adjustment to free up the car in the middle of the corner, but his crew picked him up 4 spots on pit road. Marty?
Dave, the 2003 Craftsman Truck Series champion, doing a good job. Travis Quappel in his first Cup start. Roy McCauley, the crew chief, told me they're better, but the car is still too tight. Burns?
Michael Waltrip trying to work his way back up. He's really running where he pitted last time. Hasn't made any moves, but his car was a bit loose. They made a track bar adjustment for that. Now, Matt Kenseth has had quite a day. He stayed out during that caution to lead 1 lap and gain 5 extra bonus points on lap 184. Then he pitted, but since then, he's been chasing an alternator problem. It hasn't put him out yet, but they're worried about it.
Well, Jeff Gordon is having a very dismal day out on that racetrack. In fact, look right behind him. That is race leader Kevin Harvick threatening to put this 5-time Martinsville winner a lap down. The car is just too tight. He says other cars were holding him up, but that's only part of the problem. That car just too tight.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
Usually the 24 car is the guy that uses the front bumper to get someone out of the way. Now Kevin Harvick, the 29 car, is using the front bumper to get Jeff Gordon out of the way.
Yeah, he's working on the back bumper of that 24 car. You do not see that happen very often, especially here.
Jeff last on the lead lap in 24th place as we check the championship standings as they run. Still plenty of time left in this race, but for now, it's a Kurt Busch looking day.
Man.
Junior sliding back, and
yeah, Junior's back in the 16th position, and we see Jeff Gordon in 24th. And meanwhile, Kurt Busch, the leaders, almost caught up with the 29 car of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you really can't get hung up on traffic right here. Harvick has already bumped him once out of the way, and it looks like he may get his opportunity to get by the 24 car. Nope.
And Jeff made a pretty aggressive move to block there.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you've got Busch right there closing in.
Harvick in 11th place in the championship standings, as you saw there a minute, or 13th coming in rather, to the day, and is fighting for that 11th spot with Jamie McMurray and Dale Jarrett. Jarrett already in a crash earlier today.
And there is Kurt Busch, pulled right up on the back of the 29, and that's just because 29's been hung up behind the 24 car.
All right, here we go. Jeff realizes there's not much he can do in that 24 car, but finally give way to the 29 and let him get by and put me a lap down.
Ooh, a little slide job. Drive up on him a little bit and just show him that he felt should have let him go a little bit earlier than that.
And probably a little sly smile on Kurt Busch's face too, as one of his title rivals. He puts 1 lap down. 271 in the books of 500 in the Subway 500 in Martinsville. We'll be back. The Subway 500 for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Race being led by Kevin Harvick as we come up on the 300 lap mark, the 3/5 point of the race. How about our Napa field summary? Facts and figures on the day. 9 different drivers have been out in front today. Who's led the most? Kurt Busch, BP.
And caution laps, 55 so far.
Only 6 cars out, which is pretty normal here. There's a lot of cars to finish this race.
And right now we only have 22 cars in the lead lap. The 22nd car is Matt Kenseth in 17, Michael Waltrip in the 21st position, but there's a leader. Kevin Harvick, the 29, right behind them, so they are in jeopardy of being a lap down. And boy, it's hard to get those good finishing positions from a lap down.
And then you've got Rusty Wallace and Jimmy Johnson have moved in. In fact, Rusty Wallace taking a look underneath Kurt Busch there going into turn one. So running behind this traffic has definitely closed up the top four. And they're going to get closer.
Matt Kenseth, of course, got to do what he can to try and stay on the end of the lead lap if he can, stay in front of Kevin Harvick. Matt, 7th place in the championship. And, you know, he needs to try and find a way to fight back for a top 10 finish if he's going to keep his point total close to some of these guys up ahead of him, like Kurt Busch, for example. Matt back in 22nd place right now. Best finish here at Martinsville for Matt Kenseth, the 2nd place run in the April race of 2002. How about Kenseth, Dave?
You know, he really hasn't complained that much about the handling of his race car. The only thing he's told the crew in the last 15 laps or so was leader in the mirror.
And Rusty Wallace takes over 2nd spot.
It looks like maybe the 97 car is starting to struggle just a little bit, like maybe the tires are starting to go away. There's Jimmy Johnson right behind the 97. That would be for the 3rd position if he could get by.
I think we talked, wasn't it, Matt? He said 97 had a little bit of an arrow push in traffic, and he's certainly in the middle of it right now.
Jimmy Johnson going to try slide underneath Kurt Busch for 3rd place. Matt?
And he's going to drop back to 4th. Now, the debate for Kurt is whether or not he wants to make a wedge adjustment on their next stop, which is around 50 to 55 more laps. He doesn't want to hurt the exit. He feels like the exit is one of his strong suits right now. He's trying to work, though, on the entry. If they are going to hurt the exit, he wants to leave it the way it is. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace's crew chief told him, cool your brakes. He did that, and he made the move on the 97.